So, Lenny, why don't you start us off and we'll kick this off. We're ready to go.
Well, hey everybody, Lenny Evans here. I'm just so grateful to be here. Tonight, again, we gather to learn about the science of aging. And we honor this science. And we have a philosophy that we educate, you decide, and we support. Well, tonight we have one of the greatest educators, everybody that's going to be participating, but mainly Dave MacArthur, who's been doing this all over the country. Let's go, guys. Get excited about what you're about to see. Get excited for you and see how it can affect you and help you even more, and then see who you can help and how this could maybe be part of your purpose too. So Dave MacArthur, brother.
Let's do it. All right. Thank you guys. And my co-hosts, you know who you are, and just go ahead and interject at any time. And we're excited with what we have to share. So I'm really excited. I love this time. I think I've done probably seriously about 7 or 8 of these since Saturday. And I don't get tired of doing them. Sometimes my throat gets a little tired of doing them. So, but I'm on great products, so I just recover. And right now I'm feeling good. So the purpose and what ignites me and others that are doing this is that we feel like we're giving people hope through the message that we're sharing, but it's not just a message of words to hang on to. It's literally something that can put you into action and give you results that start moving your life in a positive direction. I mean, if you want to move your life in a positive direction, let me, raise your hand. I was striving for everything that I tried to align my life with, everything that I did align my life with, I was hoping that it would move me in that positive direction. It just wasn't. And I was getting further and further away from my goals, and I was losing more and more of that zest for life because I was losing my health along with it. But now all of that's turned around because of this company. In fact, I just did a little Zoom with Kathy Coover on it, one of the founders of the company, a multi-billionaire, on a vacation trip right now, meeting with her family, took time away from her family because we love sharing this message of hope. And that speaks volumes, you guys. She didn't have to do that. I don't have to do this, but we do it because we love it and we know what we're doing in the world. We know that we're helping people to create the highest, grandest version that they can for themselves. And it starts with our health. If you don't have your health, you don't have anything. This is where I was at. And my health was not good. In fact, I don't look good at all there. That's at 36 years old, you guys. That looks like, my dad or something, So I was struggling. I was trying to provide a great lifestyle for my family, which wasn't working. We were grateful. We were grateful for the things that we had, but I wanted to provide greater opportunities and bestow greater gifts on my kids. We get a lot of pleasure out of that, don't we, when we can bestow gifts on others. This window on the house broke, and it stayed broken for years. I had a paper out. I delivered newspapers. Some of you out there have delivered papers, right? Some of you might be doing it right now. I got up at 4:30 every morning, year after year, delivering over 200 newspapers. And I was losing my health. I wasn't getting any closer to my goals. I was providing a service. I had aligned myself with certain things. And I was even eating healthy right there, you guys. I was eating oatmeal with just hot water in it. I was eating salad with lemon squeezed over it and putting lemon juice on it. That's not fun. There's nothing fun about that, but I was doing it because I thought it would give me the results that I wanted. I was riding my bike to work and back. You can see the farmer's tan. I was riding my bike in 110-degree weather right there, and it wasn't working. Everything changed. Everything turned around because of what I aligned myself with. This company and what they're set out to do, to free people both physically and financially. And we're now living our dream life. And I'm so grateful for that. And I want others to have that as well. And you can. That's why I do it. I wouldn't do it if it was, futile. It's actually happening for a lot of people. So let's go into this. And, I call it bringing heaven to earth. When your health is down here, it does not feel like heaven. It feels like a living hell is what it feels like. But as soon as your health starts to get better, and I'm talking about overall health, wellness, well-being, your mental clarity, the mental energy, along with the physical as well, wellness. And things start to change. Your attitude changes, and it just impacts everything that you do. And I started attracting more and more good things into my life, and my life just kept getting better and better and better. And it's like heaven on earth now. So I call it bringing heaven to earth, sharing this message with people. And we just want to help get as many people up here as we can through educating and giving the exposure, role modeling, and just being there to support people. So the Forever Pack, It's what we're going to share today. The company has a lot of great products. You know, John Anderson formulated for over 600 companies, over 3,000 different nutritional products. And as he formulated for these other companies as a private label manufacturer, he said they all compromised the products. Not one of his products got to the consumer the way he wanted it to get to them. He didn't have control over that. They just hired him to make products. They can do whatever they wanted with the product. And he said every single time they were compromised. So John Anderson's vision and Jim and Kathy Cooper was to create the best products that his mind and that nature could provide, and then continue to learn and expand and grow those and improve even on that. And every product that you put into your body from Isogenics, it makes a difference. This, however, is the two most powerful. And this helps people to create a very healthy habit and go in a positive direction very powerfully, very quickly. And it's super simple. That's good, right? And this right here, I would say that this, where's my bottle? Let me grab it. It's always by my side. Is the single greatest one thing that anybody could put in their body by a long shot. And we're going to spend, the most of the time on this. And then we're going to talk about this. I don't even call it a meal replacement or superfood. It's beyond that. It's unparalleled nutrition. So this has never happened before because of the pioneering and the technology and the alignment and the collaborations that have happened. This has never happened before. It wasn't even thought of happening until technology improved enough to where they could start to even conceive of the idea. And here it is. I'm holding it in my hand. We're pioneering something here. So, and then we'll go into how you can share that, and then just to ask you to get back with the person that got you here, and how we can help, not share it, but help people to get this message that they're praying for. This was what I was praying for, a solution, or take my life. A lot of people have that prayer. So this is Jimmy Smith. I've known Jimmy for coming up on 14 years. He's 80 here and he's 90 here. He looks younger at 90, doesn't he, than he did at 80? Well, he is. His cells are younger, not just on the outside, throughout his entire body. And we're going to go into the science of that and how that is duplicated and why it's duplicated. So let's just take a look at a human cell here. And the middle of every cell is called the nucleus. And there was something discovered called a telomere back in the 1930s. They didn't even know the role that they played. They just knew something was going on the ends of the chromosomes. Well, the telomere is actually protecting the DNA inside the chromosome. So this is your chromosomes. They sit in the middle of every cell, the nucleus, and they contain the software that runs each and every cell independently. And it's really the DNA is the software that runs the cells. Well, where the colors come together, that's called a nucleic bond. They don't stay together on their own. The telomere holds them together. And when the telomere is compromised, so is the DNA. There's a domino effect. If something happens to the telomere, then something is going to happen to the DNA, and it's not good. It separates those nucleic bonds. That's damaged DNA. It'd be like losing software in a computer. So the more damage the telomere gets, the more DNA you're going to lose. The more software the cell is going to lose, till eventually the cell shuts down. Just like a computer, when it loses enough software, it will crash, and you can't even turn it on. That's the same thing with the human cell. When you lose enough DNA, it crashes. Only it's called senescence, and meaning death of the cell. So the shorter that telomere gets, the more damaged it is, the more problems you're going to have with your health because your cells are going to be malfunctioning. That's Nobel Prize winning research 2009. We just simplified it. When I was introduced to Bill Andrews, the geneticist, he had me at hello. I had never heard of a telomere. And neither did people when they invented processed food. They didn't know what a telomere was when they invented processed food. Processed foods have a lot of chemicals in them that do not serve the body. What we know today is that those chemicals that are in processed foods, put there on purpose, shorten your telomeres faster. They damage the telomeres faster. And pre-teenagers, their telomeres are 10 years shorter than they used to be. It's called accelerated telomere shortening. So that means they're going to have the problems with their health at much younger ages. And they are. They have osteoporosis now before they're even teenagers. Babies are born with type 2 diabetes. Why? Because those chemicals are getting to the baby while it's forming. And it's damaging the telomeres in the womb. It's why I think it was something like 1 in 4 babies have some kind of health challenge that are born. It's a telomere issue. Every health challenge that you have, all of the labels they put on things, from your toenails all the way up to your head and everything in between, is a telomere issue. it's linked. That's the Nobel Prize winning research. They've linked the telomere and the lack of telomere health in your body to every symptom of aging and every degenerative issue. Now, Bill Andrews, like many of us, believes that the body can heal itself, only he knew it on a much more profound level. He knew that the telomere, the chromosome, could heal itself through a gene that produces an enzyme called telomerase. You and I know that when we cut our skin, those cells start to do something, and we can kind of see it. And over time, it repairs. The skin cells do. The Band-Aids don't do it. The skin cells communicate. They heal themselves. That's called an innate ability to heal itself. Well, Bill knew that that gene could do it in the chromosome, only it wasn't. We were going the wrong way faster. It's the first generation of children that won't live as long as their parents because they're getting to senescence faster, so they're going to die of a degenerative disease younger. So Bill has spent his whole life doing this. He said, I'm going to cure aging or die trying. And he identified that gene that produces this enzyme in 1994. By 1997, him and his colleagues in his lab, where they invented the procedures, were able to activate that enzyme in a petri dish with human skin cells. Guess what happened? He was right. A lot of people ridiculed him, thought he was chasing, a rabbit down the wrong hole. No, he proved them wrong. He got Inventor of the Year runner-up for doing that in the petri dish with their processes. Only lab in the world that can do that. And then Harvard piggybacked off of that, and they did it in mice. And that changed everything. It changed the whole perspective on aging. You do not have to have all these degenerative issues. The body has the capacity to prevent them from even happening in the first place. So the issues that were caused by this, what the science now shows, when you reverse that damage, those issues go away. And they saw that happen with the mice. That's when they gave it the Nobel Prize. And that's why they featured Bill, 14-page article in Popular Science on Bill Andrews and his research that led up to this Nobel Prize. So here's me and Bill. He had me at hello. I haven't stopped talking about this since 2009, and I'm not slowing down. And we have a long ways to go to help people find this solution. And you're now being called to it. And you attracted it into your life, And so I would encourage you to, it very well could be that it's the solution you've been praying for, or it could be a solution that somebody is praying for, and you were the link to that. So write down the people's names that come to you as they pop up into your mind as we go through this. But I asked Bill to do a little video with me. I took his research and really was mentored by him, really dug deep, and then put it into this simple, easy to understand presentation. And Bill said, that's the best presentation I've ever seen, Dave, to take a super complicated research and make it easy for everybody to understand. And then we did this so I could get into medical professionals.
Dave MacArthur.
I'm Bill Andrews.
And I wanted to introduce this video to you. I've collaborated with Bill Andrews and been lecturing around the country about his research in Product B. And Bill Andrews actually discovered the human telomerase gene back in 1994. And he was featured in Popular Science as the man who would stop time. So Bill, what would you like to say?
Well, I've listened to Dave speak many times on Product B, and I endorse everything he has to say. So I invite you to come listen to Dave MacArthur speak about Product B.
Thanks, Bill.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Bill. That really helped to get in past the gatekeeper, which is the secretary at the doctor's offices. Because here's the guy, the leading researcher in the world, endorsing what I'm about to want to share with that office that doesn't know anything about telomeres. So I also did an interview with him and the formulator who I'll introduce you to here in a minute, John Anderson. And we just did a recent interview. And there's two of them. I just posted the second one that's directed towards healthcare professionals. It's to let them listen to me, Bill and John, talk about how it's going to help their practice. And then we did another interview that was more extensive for just everybody to listen to. Now, Bill published his work, and then Harvard picked it up off of Bill's published work, and they did it with mice, and this is what ABC News had to report on.
And now, eternal youth. Is it in a cage around the corner? News tonight of a breakthrough for some pioneering mice. But we always wonder, what does a fountain of youth for rodents reveal for humans? Here's Sharon Alfonsi reporting.
I feel tremendous.
In the movie Cocoon, it's a swimming pool that turns back the clock for a group of senior citizens. But now researchers have found a way not just to stop, but reverse the aging process. The key is something called a telomere. We all have them. They're the tips or caps of your chromosome, seen here in yellow. This is what it looks like in a young adult. But as you grow older, the telomeres become damaged and frayed, and as they stop working, we start aging. experiencing things like hearing and memory loss. Scientists took mice who were prematurely aged, added an enzyme, and essentially turned their telomeres back on. You can see it before the enzyme, after.
Their brain function improved, their fertility was restored. It was a remarkable reversal of the aging process.
Look at this picture. The mouse on the right has bad skin, gray hair, and is balding, but the one on the left had its telomeres flipped back on.
And you could see that essentially you now have a dark coat color, that the hair is restored, that the coat has a nice healthy sheen to it.
Even more dramatic, the change in brain size. This is before. The mice had 75% of a normal brain, like a patient with severe Alzheimer's. But after the telomeres were reactivated, the brain returns to normal size.
And to say that caught my attention is an understatement. That blew me away. And I read the papers that were published on these mice. They barely touched the tip of the iceberg in that news article. This is why it was given the Nobel Prize, because that's a living, breathing mammal, just like me and you, not skin cells in a petri dish, which is the work that Bill had done, which led to this. So critical, all these steps that had taken place. Now, their mental acuity, it was like severe Alzheimer's. They didn't have any ability to reason or recall memory, and they were failing the test miserably. But then they activated this enzyme, and what they saw is the DNA started repairing in all of the cells. What does that mean? This damaged DNA was being put back together. Just like software being restored in a computer that's having some problems. The computer works perfect. That's what they saw here with their brains. And not only that, the lean tissue. You can see how the brain got bigger. This is before, after, before, after. And so their cognitive ability was back. They can now pass the test with flying colors. Also, their bones and their muscle, the atrophy was reversed. Their bones grew back without changing their diet. You know, there's a lot of people out there that are taking extra calcium because they have osteoporosis, yet that doesn't improve their bone density. It's not the calcium that's going to do it. It's the expression of the DNA. Whatever the expression of the DNA is going to be the expression of this physical cell. And they saw that. I mean, Nobel Prize winning for sure, right? So many other things too. Their cardiovascular system, the heart started ejecting faster and stronger, which means oxygen's now pumping through the body faster and getting there more effectively and reaching higher levels of oxygen to the organs. Their glucose levels leveled out, their skin, their hair, everything. They said it was a remarkable observation of the reversal of the aging process. Nobel Prize, it earned it. And it's the first time they learned that DNA could repair. The best that they could do up to this point was just slow down telomere shortening by staying away from the chemicals, the processed foods, smoking, drinking, stress, things like that. But this was a whole different perspective on aging and what we could do about it. And quite frankly, the body's internal capacity, innate capacity to heal itself. We are now learning the true miracle of the human body and what it's really capable of. And that's what we're pioneering. Even just with this information, I feel like we're pioneering it. Anybody want to share along the lines of the science, not the product, but along the lines of the science? And when you saw this, what it made you think about the miracle of the human body? Anybody want to share anything?
I would like to. Hi, Laura St. John. Thank you, Dave and Lenny and all the other co-hosts. I think that anyone watching this up to this moment, I mean, we invite you to watch the rest of the presentation, of course, should already feel, if this is the first time you're being exposed to this material, a wow impact. Because I know the first time I saw this, I was already on isogenesis. I was already taking it only because I heard that it was, going to help with aging. And that was at age 38. I'm now 43. And since I've been talking to you, for now, months, I've been taking it really every morning and night. And I already see a tremendous difference personally at age 43 on the exterior. And I know what's happening on the interior. So anyone who's watching this, I really suggest and encourage you to continue along the science of this and imagine all the times you've tried to treat your symptoms versus the core root of your body, which is all of our cells, trillions of them. And you have no idea, just from a scientific perspective, where they are the shortest right now. You don't know. So if you can go inside your skin cells, or if you can go inside the cells behind your eye, or in a bone, or in your heart, and know that you're made of cells everywhere, and where are they potentially not working optimally? And what this support is just support, like Dave's saying. This is not saying we're going to fix, diagnose, cure, treat, whatever. This is saying your body's already, the science is showing us that your body has that innate ability to unlock something that's healing. And what if you could support that process? And that just fascinated me. I started making telomeres. I'm just like taking this religiously and telling everybody in the world about this. Come on Mondays, join this presentation. So thank you. I so appreciate it.
You need to get that little YouTube. Tell your mom, tell your dad, tell your brother, tell your sister, right? Because they need to know. And I just wrote down a word because you started saying it, equipped. Our body is equipped with this ability that we're now just learning about because of this science. Okay, anybody else?
Yeah. Hi, Alex here. I just wanted to really quickly say there's just a big difference between your chronological age and your biological age. And that's really what we're talking about here. We can accelerate the shortening just like they did with these mice and accelerate all this degenerative stuff that's going to happen, which we do. Or we can try to slow this down. And when you really look at what we're currently doing to try to slow this down, people are exercising, they're meditating, they're even doing brain games these days to try to keep their minds sharp, right? And yet at the same time, you know, as you look at the science and what you're about to learn, there's something that's still missing. There's something missing in our nourishment, in every effort we have to slow down that biological age that you're going to really, you're going to learn how to unlock. And another little piece here really is around exercise, even in and of itself can accelerate telomere shortening. And just be aware that when you look at a marathon runner who's been, you know, running, when they're not getting the nutritional support or whatever's going to help their telomerase to turn back on and keep them young and vibrant, they're actually accelerating their aging with that kind of stress as well. So I just wanted to make that extra point, and then I'll add in more later.
Okay, excellent. All right. So yeah, it's helping to bridge that gap for people that don't understand why they're not getting the results. The science will really help you to bridge the gap as to why am I not getting the results that I'm expecting from doing the things that I'm doing? They should give me those results unless you're impacting the telomere in a positive way and turning on that mechanism that's already equipped, then you're just going to keep getting further and further away from your health goals. And you're right, Alex, they are chronologically the same age, but physiologically this one's younger now because it has the longer telomeres of a younger mouse. So good point. All right, so now let's jump into Bill's lab. Up to 40 researchers were working in Bill's lab at one time, and over a decade, remember since 1994, they've been testing compounds in human skin cells, over 304,000. And the yellow lines and the red lines, this is a chart that they use to assay the compounds they're putting in the human skin cells and whether or not they're effective. They found 8 that actually worked. If it turns red, it's called a hit, and it's actually positively impacting human telomerase. And what happened to the human skin cells? They started repairing, just like this showed in the mice. It was doing that in the skin cells, and that's where it was done first. But all of these were chemicals. They couldn't find anything that was holistic and nothing that would be approved for human consumption. And so only 8, and they haven't found anything that could actually be consumed by humans to accomplish this mission. So enter the scene, John Anderson, the formulator that I was talking about for over 40 years now, over 3,000 health products. He came up with a proprietary way that was exclusive and unique just to him. His mind came up with it. Just like Bill's lab is the only lab that can do what they do, John's lab and his passion that created this is the only lab that can do what he does with nutrition. And that is keeping things in their raw form, synergistically putting them together, creating extracts that are unlike any extract out there, and putting those extracts together and getting them to where they'll be received by the cell, because the cell is also like the blood-brain barrier. It's going to let certain things in. And so you have to know how the body works and how nature with synergistic blends could get received into the cell. John's going to go down in history. His names will go down in the annals of history of human health and the impact that's been made. So John Anderson was introduced to Bill Andrews because he, like many of us, he didn't know about telomeres. I'm talking about pretty much the whole world. Nobody knows about telomeres on the level that you're going to be learning it tonight. Some people might say they know what a telomere is and be able to tell you it's the cap on the end and it's related to aging. But to go much deeper than that, it's going to be very few, very rare individuals that are going to go into depth. And now you're amongst those rare individuals. So John Anderson fell into that category. He said, I would have formulated for telomeres a long time ago. I believe that the way I formulate will definitely impact telomerase. And so he was very excited. He said, I believed everything in my life has prepared me for this. So they wrote up a contract, and he started sending formulations over to Bill's lab. And it was Peter Greenlaw. I need to make sure that we mention Peter Greenlaw. He introduced these two to each other because he knew that Bill didn't know as much about a holistic approach as John would. So they both bring something to the table here, something that each one of them knew that the other one didn't. And on that level that pretty much nobody else on the planet knows on their level. So John started sending formulations over, and Bill started testing them in the human skin cells. This is what was said in a documentary called The Immortalist about John sending those formulations over.
We'd seen for natural products, and we were pretty excited. It was the 11th compound we tested out of the first 15 samples that John Anderson sent us, and it was a hit. So we use the term hit in science a lot. So when we screen a lot of samples, we'll screen like thousands of samples at a time. But, you know, I have to confess, at first we thought, wow, was he extremely lucky? Because we thought, how could he only be asking us to screen 15 samples? After screening thousands without a hit, we need a lot more samples than 15 if we're expecting to get a hit. But he got a hit. So he sends us another 15, and we get another hit.
Okay, so there's Bill Andrews, and his lab is the only lab in the world that can do this. And still to this day, they are still the only lab in the world that can do this. And John sent 15 compounds over. Now, 40 researchers in over a decade weren't able to do what John did in months, and that was he found a hit. But Bill says it was out of only 15 tries. Wow, is he lucky? But then he sent 15 more and got another hit. Out of 120 attempts, they got those 7 right there. So these are all coming and derived from natural ingredients, no chemicals, no synthetics, purely natural, raw ingredients. And Bill Andrews got so excited. John got so excited. I got so excited. A lot of other people got so excited. Bill said this would change the landscape of human health as we know it. And all of his life's works and the culmination of it, bam, right here. He says, I've never been more excited. And that moved their lab forward 10 to 12 years where they thought they would be. Well, John continued to improve it and to maintain the quality and improve it, keep the price low so that everybody could be on it. Bill wanted John to publish how he's getting the natural ingredients to do that because they tried him over here. And John said, no, I'm not going to publish that. That's going to remain proprietary. We're going to safeguard this product. We're going to make sure everybody can take it, and we're going to improve upon it. And it improved now 4 times. On the 3rd improvement, I got a call from Bill, and he said, Dave, John did something I said would be impossible to do from a natural botanical, found 2 hits that went off the charts. Now today, there's over 25 different hits, these red lines that we're talking about here, that are impacting and supporting that equipped mechanism within each and every one of our cells. And there's a lot of hits that are bigger than these. In fact, I was just in Bill's lab a couple weeks ago, and I took this picture right here. This is Bill, that's myself, and that's Lancer. Bill said Lancer is perhaps one of the most intelligent scientists on the planet alive today. He's the one that created the over 30 procedures to be able to assay compounds being tested in the human skin cells. And as I walked through the lab, which I had before, but as I went through it, it just blows my mind. And these are all new compounds that John Anderson has sent over. There's hundreds of them here. And this one right here, I'm going to let John announce that one, but he's super excited about what that's doing right there, which is not in the product yet. And they have found more hits. There will be a 5th generation. And, John is super excited. He's still combing through everything and putting things together in his proprietary way. So, and they do that with all their products. When they learn a new thing and an advancement, they put it into the product, and we get to be the beneficiaries of that. What else? I think, is there anything else I missed out there? Anything that you guys?
Dave, I just want to say that, you asked again, how many labs are there on Earth that can vet this, that can test for a hit? Just the fact that how many are there?
None, just this one. Yeah,
so
I asked that again.
Anything out there that's claiming anything about telomere support, it hasn't gone through Dr. Bill Andrews' lab. And so you guys, we got something so profound here. It's just, I just wanted to throughout.
I love being able to say that because there are a lot of Me Too products that pop up in any industry with anything, right? And we see the same thing with this. I had 2 people send me 2 different products that have popped up. I'm like, I just ignore them now. When at first I was like, not really alarmed, but I was like, products that were saying they were doing it. I sent one of the advertisements to Bill and he says, nah, they wouldn't know they were doing it unless they went through my lab. There's no other way to vet it. And so it's probably, well, not probably, he said it, he didn't say snake oil. I can't remember what he said, but I'm going to translate it into it's snake oil. Well, John Anderson's like, test them. I don't care what you think, test them, you know? And so Bill did test like half a dozen of them that were out there. And none of them produced any telomerase. None of them had any red lines in them. And they said they did. They literally said they did. And there's, you know, a lot of lack of integrity out there. Yeah, Alex.
Yeah, I just want to quickly say that, yeah, integrity is just, that's Bill's name. That's his last name. John Anderson. I mean, the fact of the matter is most companies, if not all companies, compromise their products. And he is so committed to making this better and better and better. I mean, look at all those samples. We already have this incredible product that's just proven, and we can expect nothing more but better from this company and from it's what we are founded on. And it's just so exciting to be able to see that, because there are so many commodities and Me Too products out there, like you were saying. So you're really good here.
Exactly. Laura, you guys own gyms in which you now have relinquished yourself of, right, because of isogenics. Congratulations. People out there are taking supplements and they're doing the best that they can with what's being offered in the retail stores. And we know that John said every product he ever formulated, they compromised, and he formulated for over 600 companies. You not only can say the difference, but you can see the difference, right, in people.
Absolutely. Thank you. I think that, I always told people, whether we were training top athletes or people would walk in saying, I want to lose 100 pounds. I would say the best science is one thing. You're seeking truth and logic and science. The best science is your own human body. Seriously. So even if people are skeptical, you can put something in your body and ultimately see the results of it. And so, that hope that you talked about, that belief. And I think ultimately, like what I would start to see and what happened at our gyms is people were walking in being like, I've been working out. I've been knowing this person for the last 30 days. I physically see them transforming in front of my eyes. What are they doing differently? Or even over the course of months or years, or people following people on Facebook and just seeing the transformations. I mean, Dave, just seeing the video with you a few minutes ago with Bill Andrews and you tonight. I mean, we're literally living representations of everything that we're saying. And it is a testament to everyone who's been involved from its inception. You feel that when you go to the corporate headquarters. Like you said, Kathy is getting on calls with you. This is a multi-billion-dollar company who doesn't need to be working in the trenches anymore or evolving it even further, but that is their pure passion and heart. So this company is built on heart, it's built on passion, and it's built on integrity. And those things can be really, truly felt and seen. So it's those people who are seeking logic in this presentation tonight, you'll get all the logic and all the science and all the knowledge you may seek. And then if you're seeking the heart and the hope side, you'll receive that too. And that's the beautiful match of all this.
Yeah, that's why we get so passionate about this, because it's done it in our own lives, and now we want to help other people. It's so fun to be a catalyst like that. We actually have clinicals with the products, all the products, and I shouldn't say all the products. We have over 100, about 100 products now. But the pillars and what they're doing in the body have gone through clinical testing, and this is no exception. This product is actually pharmaceutically grade formulated. It's a natural, it doesn't even have a child-proof cap. It's all natural, but it's pharmaceutically grade with precision formulated. And this is showing the assimilation of the ingredients attaching to red blood cells, and those red blood cells taxi-cabbing the ingredients to where they need to go. You could put things in your body, but they don't get assimilated. John Anderson will go down in history for that. It's a proprietary way that he does it. Now we're in nutrition, and there's 120 pills in here, and it's not even a child-proof cap. My 18-month-old granddaughter opened it and spilled them all out on the floor. So that just really speaks volumes. It's safe. There's 120. This is a month's supply. You do 2 in the morning and 2 at night. And again, a month's supply right here. And so it's nutrition. And being nutrition, we have to make sure we are very clear with the articulation of this disclaimer, we are not making any claims around curing any illnesses or diseases. It's not been evaluated by the FDA. You know, we are the highest standard that the FDA for regulation with a nutritional company, but we far exceed those. Our products are more like a pharmaceutically graded formulation, right? That precision, that precise, that quality. And that's why we get the results. But being a nutritional company, we can't make any claims around curing anything. So as our body starts to turn on these mechanisms, the body's going to start to heal itself. So as you get better, you cannot say that this cures, you know, the things that you're seeing getting better. It's just a nutritional support. Your body's what's curing it, right? It's what's healing and getting itself better. So we really need to make sure that we honor that and don't try to fight that. This product was taken off the market in Australia for 4 months because some rogue associate was posting non-compliant things on a website. Serious stuff, right? I don't ever want to see this go away. If this was gone for 4 months, I'd be very upset. So no posting pictures on Facebook and putting claims around them. Don't say we're reversing aging because that's a claim. Don't say we're reversing DNA damage. That's a claim. We'll share with you tonight how to share that. So we're going to go through some observationals. One of the things that we've seen is endurance, stamina. I'm sure you saw it in the gym. I felt it in the gym. I've had bodybuilders take a first, second, or third place that have never placed before just from adding the isogenesis to their routine. The healing that takes place. So this is Molly. She ran a race in the Himalayas. It's 138 miles long, no big deal, right? Well, it goes from 13,000 feet to 18, back to 14, back to 18, back down. No big deal, right? Well, they give you 60 hours to get to the finish line so you never sleep on that race or you would never make it. Wow, that's a lot of stuff, right? They're totally extreme endurance athletes. In fact, people have died running this race. Only 6 people have ever made it to the finish line. Molly tried it 2 years earlier when the product didn't exist and she didn't make it. The product comes out, she takes it, and she says, I'm running that race again. Well, she's the first female and the 7th person. You know, is that a coincidence? No, it's not a coincidence. And is it a coincidence that she has the name of the product, telomere support, on the back of her shirt? It used to be called Product B, isogenesis. Now it's called isogenesis, same product, only it's evolved since then. Bill did it the following year at 60 years old. He's the oldest person to do it now. They did a documentary on him running it. He said, I'm breaking records I set in races 20 years ago. I beat one of them by 50 minutes, 20 years later. I took up motocross at 46 years old because I felt so good. I felt so young. I felt so vibrant. And my endurance was better than the teenagers out there. And I started beating them on the track. It was so awesome. This 46-year-old grandpa is beating teenagers. And I hadn't been on a dirt bike in 25 years, you guys. That product is what got me back on the dirt bike. And that product is what caused no, I didn't cause it. I caused that. I shattered my leg the day before a motocross race. And it shattered it like glass. Long story short, the doctor said it would take up to a year before I could stand on it with all my weight. I'd never run again. I ran in 3 months from the day of the accident. I was back on the dirt bike in 4 months. With the pilon fracture, a PA for an orthopedic surgeon said that's impossible. Those little pieces can't heal that quickly to take that kind of pounding in 3 months. You guys, it's like it never happened. I mean, I do everything normal, and yeah, I run. In fact, I ran those stadiums this morning. I didn't have any muscle atrophy either. I wasn't on my feet for 10 weeks. For 10 weeks, I was not on my feet. This is 2 weeks later with no muscle atrophy. So for people with trauma, things where the body didn't quite course correct correctly after the trauma, even if it was decades ago, your body's intelligent. Those cells can communicate. They just need the information that was lost. Trauma could cause that information to be gone like that. So could a stroke. This is Kathy. Kathy might be on the presentation tonight. And people don't believe that that's her, that those are the two same people. Kathy says, hello, that picture is in fact of me. That's at Fitness America in Las Vegas at 69. I just turned 70 in May. She's 69 years old right here. You guys, 69 is like the new 34 maybe, 38. Here she is at 70. She's 72 now. She says, I really do feel like I've been aging backwards. What else could I possibly give the credit to? Thank you, John Anderson and Bill Andrews. Bill said there's no way this product will not work in the human body. It's impossible. It will work. And it's like Laura was saying, it's going to fix the shortest telomeres first. And then it's going to repair, things that you might not even be exposed to you yet. And so how critical is that? You don't want to find out about something wrong with your cardiovascular system, when it's too late. Proactive, so this is nutrition that can help us to be proactive in helping the body to stay healthier longer. Dick was about to be put into a nursing home, couldn't really leave the house. And Amy came to a meeting that I did at a dentist office in Wisconsin. He's 82 here, he's 83 here, he's 85 there, and he's 87 right there. We watched that transformation. He's 89. Jojo and I were with him in April. He's doing push-ups. He works out. He's thinking about his own wedding after going to his grandkids and his great-grandkids' weddings. At 89 years old, he said that when we were just out there. Starting to think about my own wedding. And he drives. He does everything normal now. So this is, yeah, go ahead.
I just want to really quickly just point out this idea here. And when you start to look at these stories again and again, we're talking about people that are already like way over on the spectrum of like disease care. They're on multiple meds and they're like planning, getting into a home or whatever. Like they're just, for me, it was the same thing. I was kind of signing off and saying, well, I guess this is what it's going to look like as I get older. And yet then as they start to move the needle in the right direction with this Forever Pack or, the isogenesis, they start moving the needle in that direction. All of a sudden they get inspired to do the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And it's like, once you get over the hump, then they start doing push-ups and then they're getting like into competitions and they're completely like taking it all the way instead of just caring for like symptoms. We're talking about completely changing lives, and it's one incremental step at a time. So I just really want you to see that in these stories.
Yeah, we have a recent picture of him at 88, I think he might have been, because he just barely turned 89, going down a slide at a park with his hands in the air, right? It's like you said, when you turn that corner, you start doing more and more things. All right, and this is Minnie, and you can see that she's laying flat right here horizontally. Her chin was stuck to her chest. She couldn't move it, couldn't stand up straight. And the body can course correct. Like a plant that's almost dying because we stopped watering it. It's almost dead, a plant, and you water it, all of a sudden you activated the telomeres to start healing, and the plant totally makes a full recovery. Somebody walking through the door would never know that the problem existed. Here she is at 80, here she is at 83, and look at her chin. She started walking upright. She didn't need her walker anymore, and a lot of great conversations with her. Malcolm could only ski till about 1:30 in the afternoon, and he was out in the parking lot with all the oldsters. Malcolm's in his mid-60s, and now he opens and closes the lifts. It's consecutive days in a row. He's taking advantage of this long ski season. And he said that there was 18 inches of new snow. This was a couple weeks ago. It was kind of that wet snow, so it's really hard to get through. He said, I got out to my car and I got to the parking lot, and his car was the only car in the parking lot. He's like that little kid that doesn't want to get out of the swimming pool. He just want to keep going and going. And he says, I can go consecutive days in a row, opening and closing the lifts and not even get sore. You guys, he was quitting at 1:30 in the afternoon. And he says, I don't even remember what knee used to hurt me. Knees are made of cells. His wife, he was his wife's caregiver for 3 years. She couldn't be left alone. And now he leaves her alone, and she drives and she goes for walks with their dog, Billy. It's really cool. Karen had already turned in the paperwork for the funeral home. She was supposed to die in October. She was having challenges, and she came to the meeting. This was the night she came to the meeting, and I don't know if she forced somebody to give them some of their pills, but somebody had their bottle there, and she did pay them for them. But she got started on them that night. She'd been homebound for 3 years. This is her 2 days later. This is her 3 days later. At our company event, she stayed at the whole thing for 3 days. She even sat through the science talks before the event for 6 hours. She started riding horses, just totally lives a normal life now. The funeral home actually called in December and asked where her body was. Her daughter said, she decided to live. Awesome stuff. She's still very active and just living a normal life and sharing the products with people. Bob Sheridan was sent home from the hospital. His cardiovascular system was just too weak to even operate on. They said it would fall apart in his hands, so just go home and get the paperwork ready. Should have came in sooner. He's in the Boxing Hall of Fame. The world got to watch this transformation happen, you guys. Man, just the things. I did 2 meetings in his home. Fight News interviewed him right here. He went back to work. He's still announcing to this day. He's over 80, and they recently interviewed him and said, Bob, how you feeling? We thought we were going to lose you back in 2011. They were freaking out right here, but now they're kind of used to it. But they said, how you feeling today? He said, well, I feel like I can go on announcing for another 20 years. Chantel, she had problems with her back, and she's probably on the presentation. She's usually on here. And She bought a new mattress. She says, I had so many pillows because if I could adjust myself the right way, I could fall asleep. But it got to the point where she couldn't even adjust herself to fall asleep anymore, staying up all night. Imagine that, raising 3 kids. And she got on the product, and we got a text, Amanda and I did, that she'd been crying in her bed for 2 hours that morning because she slept all night and she didn't have any discomfort when she woke up. And she thought it was a fluke. And so she waited a month and a half before she posted anything about it. And then her daughter had scalp issues. And so she thought, as a parent, that's probably a telomere issue. So I'll just go ahead and give her some isogenesis. No scalp issues this year. And they couldn't even comb her hair in the wintertime. It was seeping all the time and just raw and red. So how cool is that for a little 6th grader? You know, who do you know that's aging? Who do you know that eats? Who do you know that breathes? I mean, never fear, it's just cells. Cells have this innate ability to turn things around if you give them the catalyst to support those mechanisms that can turn it around. You've been exposed to a whole new mechanism that you probably didn't even know about, telomeres and telomerase. And it's not just for people who are aged and decrepit and having problems with their health and having these labeled health challenges. Kids are being born without their DNA. That means they're not operating at 100%. Their intelligence, their body, their muscular system, their nervous system, their eyes, everything, their digestive systems. They're not operating at 100% because they're not born with 100% of their DNA. Fact, that's part of the Nobel Prize winning research. So when we put our daughter on it at 12 years old, the whole dance class noticed. In 3 weeks, the owner of the studio was on the product. Carter's teacher called 3 days from school after we had put him on the product, noticing for him. And Benny, you know, young kid, and he got in a car accident and he lost motor skills, couldn't move his arm. This is 3 weeks into supporting, you know, the body with this nutrition. They're showing the girl that shared it with him 3 weeks earlier. His arm was stuck. He couldn't move it for 4 years, for over 4 years. He's now playing the piano and speaking in sentences. Angel rocked it, right? She got first place with the Forever Pack, and her body didn't have to go through all the turmoil that athletes put their bodies through, and dehydrating themselves and starving themselves and working out hard. And, you know, it's not healthy. And the results that you can get, a lot of the athletes love it because they can pretty much maintain competition ready, not quite, but pretty close all year round because it's so delicious and it tastes so amazing, but the results are profound. So everybody, right? That's the long and short of telomeres. Bill Andrews said when telomeres get short, bad things happen. We want long telomeres, and now you know the science of aging. You know about the mechanisms within the chromosome and how you can support them. It's the only asset on the planet, you guys. This is what we're pioneering. I feel like we're pioneering the Nobel Prize winning research because nobody knows about telomeres. There's somebody posted on Facebook, they might be on this presentation. They've been taking their mom to the doctors because she can't take herself. And the doctor said, what's going on? Everything's turning around in a positive direction, like everything. And the daughter said, well, she's on a telomere supplement. And the doctor said, what's a telomere, right? You now know more about telomeres and the asset for telomeres than pretty much everybody on the planet. We're not even in 1% of homes. We got a lot of work to do, you guys. That's why I've done 7 presentations since Saturday. Got a lot of work to do. A lot of people out there are suffering in silence, suffering out loud, and we have a solution for them. So there you go, the single greatest one thing that you could put in your body. And we want to cover this second piece now because it's such a great 1-2 punch, and you are what you eat. It's very important. And we have John Anderson, our formulator, said we're the only species that's made a science out of killing ourselves. What does he mean? By what we're doing to the food. And you have to have 90 nutrients going into the body at every meal. And not just going in, they need to be assimilated. There are vitamins that go into the body and they come out still a vitamin. They're inorganic. That means they're not water soluble. They're still in rock form. And they say that they have all of that stuff in the label, calcium, the magnesium, and the iron, and all of that, but your body's not even absorbing it. How do I know that? Because I've had 3 people who own outhouse businesses tell me they have to screen the vitamins out of that so that it doesn't get clogged up in their machinery. One of them told me you could still read the name of the company that made that vitamin. Crazy stuff, right? People don't know this. I feel like we're pioneering this as well. We've been teaching this for over a decade. Lenny and I, we put this together like in 2006, I think it was. Food Matters, it teaches all about that. You can't get those 90 nutrients, mostly the minerals. 60 of those 90 are minerals. 1 bowl of spinach used to give you enough iron for a week. UCLA study, 2007, Sorry, but you need to eat 51 bowls of spinach to get the same amount of iron. So Lenny, you taught me about Linus Pauling. When I started reading Linus Pauling, I was like awakened, you know.
Yeah,
what do you have to say about Linus Pauling?
Well, this is a really important piece right here, you guys. Linus Pauling said that every sickness and disease can be traced back to a mineral deficiency in the human body. Dave right here is teaching us that the minerals are not in the spinach, but they're not in anything. And here's why. Because the air quality, the water quality, it's all horrible. Guys, look at what they're doing to our air, water, and our food. They're spraying pesticides, insecticides, herbicides, fungicides, all things sides, which means death. And so the minerals are gone. So now what's going on when the human body doesn't have mineral, nothing good can happen when minerals are lacking. And that causes acidosis in a huge way. And so, yes, we're eating all these horrible things that are keeping us acidic. And an acidic body is a sick body, and a sick body craves sick food. But when you move into alkalinity, it's just a simple move into alkalinity. Alkalinity changes everything, because an alkaline body is a healthy body, and a healthy body craves healthy food. You will be on calls, Dave. I've been doing so many calls, and people go, why am I feeling so much better? Why am I in a better mood? Why? Because we're giving their bodies a fighting chance, supporting their telomeres, and now flooding them with the greatest meal replacement in the world. I know you don't like to say meal replacement. I'm even saying it's more than a meal, because what it does is it floods our bodies with minerals. I mean, think about it. John Anderson's nickname is the Mineral Man. He dedicated his life to figuring out how to get minerals back in the food in an absorbable way, so our bodies could like feel satiated and not be always starving. Dave, this is so exciting.
We could spend 2 hours and not even go in depth on this shake and the science behind it, but you have 5 seconds. Go out. No, I'm just kidding. Anybody want to share anything about? I will, but I mean, you guys, what do you want to say about the shake?
I just want to say just the tiniest little thing. Nourish and repair, right? We just talked about repair like for the last 40 minutes, right? This is the nourishment piece. Like, we've done all this damage that we need to slow down and stop and hopefully support our body to do the reversing part. And here's the part to flood ourselves with new cells, like new tissues, a wholly different way for our body to start performing when we nourish it properly. And that's what this is all about.
Laura, what do you want to add?
I would just like to add, anyone who's here for the first time, really honing the 1 to 2 things that you would love to improve upon your health right now, or if you're bringing people to this presentation. And for everyone, it's often different things, whether it's, releasing some pain, releasing some weight, getting more balance, like feeling more energy. And everything comes down to the 2 punch. Like you're saying, repair cells, but also replenish them. And when your body is at that pH balanced state, I know I've been on this mission for many, many years. Seeing my mom have cancer at 6 years old had a tremendous impact on how do I get my body in the most like disease-free state as possible. And again, we're not saying that it's the products, we're saying just your body. How can you get your body in the best possible state? I just got, my mom actually just bought them pH strips, like you test yourself, Dave, here that you're about to show. And I'm so happy to be balanced, because it's a lot easier for anyone watching. If you want to get anyone who's done the diet roller coaster, of let me cut out all the sweets, let me cut out all the things that I'm actually craving when my body's in an acidic state, is a lot harder, because then you're against the struggle all the time of the diet mentality. And this is a lifestyle shift. We always say here, like, health is a habit. Make it simple. Keep it simpler for yourself. 1 shake a day, isogenesis, boom, your body's getting into this balanced state. And it just is a process. In 3 weeks, your cravings shift, and getting healthy is a whole lot easier when you're balanced.
Yeah. And the thing is, if you're not getting to homeostasis on your diet, you're always going back to this. That's what your body's craving. If you're not getting your alkalinity up, you go back to this. And I did that so many times before isogenics. And most people are eating processed food, and that's just adding fuel to the fire. It's a problem.
and really one last little piece here too is willpower. I'm sorry, you can't plan on that method. It's just when it comes to even just shedding some of the excess body fat, the willpower method doesn't work because your body is just going to continue to crave this, and you're just going to cave. You're going to snap back. The rubber band is just going to bring you back to your usual ways, and it's unfortunate. But when you get this high dense nutrition in and this alkalinity in, and you start to crave different foods, it's like the willpower part of this just goes away. You don't even need it. It's so simple.
Yeah, and the reason the willpower eventually wears off is because you're not getting the results anymore. So you throw your hands in the air and you say, I might as well enjoy my life because I'm not getting the results and I'm starting to feel more and more fatigued and more body pain as well. Because when you're doing that, you're just actually inflaming your body when you're putting it under those stresses and not getting it the minerals it needs, especially if you throw exercise into that. You are inflaming your body and you're making it worse because the body can't repair, can't restore. So Lenny, we've been doing this since 2006, and this whole comparison, we added the new shakes because we used to only have chocolate and vanilla. Now we have an amazing lineup. And you want to do this slide here?
Yeah, just real quick. I mean, take a look at this logic here. The number one ordered meal, burger or fish sandwich, chicken sandwich, fries, or onion rings, and a drink, compared to one of our shakes. Guys, look at this right here. Nutritionally, there's nothing. Negative. Nutritionally in our shake, maximum. Calories in that it's almost 2,000 calories, you guys, compared to ours. And then the cost back in 2007, $8.47. You know it's more than that now, but our shake is under $3. You guys, financially speaking, it's just such a brilliant decision. Not to mention, it's my favorite meal of the day. I just want to have a moment right now. I've been doing about 2 shakes a day for 15 years. Mm-hmm. And I am so grateful for this, Dave. This is a big deal. And when you add the only asset, so now we have more than a meal, plus the only asset known to mankind that supports our telomeres, and the price is under $5.50. You can compare that to any meal and start saving money the day you start the Forever Pack. That is amazing.
And to put something that's unparalleled in the history of mankind, John Anderson said it's the greatest discovery of our time. Dr. Gabriel Cousins said it's a breakthrough into a whole new era. In my 40 years of being a medical professional, I've never experienced anything like this. So, we have a great way to get this message out there, you guys, and it's very simple. This video is 22 minutes and it's gone viral. It's at foreverpack.com. And you can just send friends and family there. Like, how many people do you believe would want to know about the science of telomeres, especially if they're experiencing the age-related problems and it's affecting the quality of their life or their loved one's life? How many people do you think deserve to know this information? But let's just say how many of them would want to know on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 is, no, they wouldn't want to know about that at all. Or 10, they would totally want to know about it, right? You can start sharing immediately. I started sharing the science before we even had a product. It's just that and people love this science. They've been waiting for it. Star Wars has been making us wait for something like this. It's here, and we get to be the pioneers of it. Did you want to say something, Alex?
Yeah. So I used to also be a nutrition and have a gym and all that kind of stuff too. And, I was teaching people how to change their whole lifestyle and what to cook and what to eat and when and how to move their bodies and how to rest and meditate and all of these things. And I just want to just say again, how simple and affordable and delicious this is. You don't have to change your lifestyle. It's so darn simple. And it literally changes things so much more than I was able to do with 4 weeks of training and lifestyle shifts, because it's all in that one shake and it's in this bottle. It's like we're already eating. It's faster than everything we're doing. And as Laura says, you put the bottle next to your toothbrush, you piggyback it on a habit you already have. And you don't actually have to deal with any willpower at all. And I really think that that's an important point here, because that's the thing that takes everyone out. And then we lose belief in ourselves. And that mindset and that belief in yourself is what's going to keep a lot of people from making this decision right now, right? Like, you might be thinking to yourself, I don't know, nothing else has worked for me in the past. I'm not really sure. Is this really worth it? It sounds kind of expensive, even though it's not. All of these excuses can start to come in, and all we can say is try it. Literally get these products in your body. If you don't love how they feel in the next 30 days or within these 30 days, seriously, you can get your money back. and know that it's going to work better and better and better over more and more and more time. For some people, it's instant. For other people, it might take a little longer, but you're going to feel that shake. You're going to feel it, I promise you. And again, no lifestyle change, no willpower. This stuff is proven and it works, and we guarantee it.
Yeah, so like Lenny would say, just take a deep breath right now. Right, just breathe in, because that's a lot of information. Let's just take it down to the most common basic denominator, and that is, we all know we need extra nutrition. We've all done the shake, we've done the smoothie, we bought the juicer, we tried it out, it didn't work for us, we go to Jamba Juice. We all know that's nothing new. This is nothing new when it comes to the principle of health and putting something nutritional in your body. What is new, if you haven't put this in your body, is you've never had this kind of nutrition go into your body. So one shake every morning, very simple. Everybody's like already familiar with the need for that and the principle behind it. This is only 2 pills in the morning, 2 pills at night. I do it with my shake. We start everybody out on 1 shake a day because health is a habit, and we don't want to disrupt your paradigm too much. And, you know, you might want to experiment with 2 shakes a day. I've been doing 2 shakes a day for 14 years, but, you know, I know there's wisdom in starting out slow and treating this like a marathon. Health is a habit. Healthy people do the same healthy things every day. They put nutrition in their body. The only thing that differs a healthy person from an unhealthy person is the unhealthy person has made a habit of grabbing things that are nutritionally bankrupt and high calorie. And so they do that every day, and they've just created habits. And so they have poor health. All we're going to do is just introduce enough nutrition that's nutritionally dense, and then get right to the heart of the problem with the DNA and give you amazing, profound results that have never happened before. And so it's a really easy, simple 1-2 punch that's easy to understand, simple to understand, easy to do.
As a reminder too, I'll just step in, and you know, sometimes we come into this and we go, this is the thing I really, really want to fix. And we're focused on this one thing that's going on with us. But perhaps that's not the thing that needs the most attention. It may be the thing we're most focused on, but our body knows what needs to heal first. And so coming into this, understanding that it takes a minimum of 120 days to infiltrate every cell in our body. So that's the first step. And then we don't know what that's fixing. So I might look at somebody and go, well, you're wearing glasses, so maybe your eyes are your shortest telomere, but perhaps it's your kidney and we can't see that. And so we're just healing the body at that cellular level. It knows what to do when it has the right things to do it. So just remember that something's happening. There's no way that it can't happen. 100% of the time, this works in a positive way for your body. That's a huge statement. There's not a whole lot of things that can say 100% of the time this is positive for you. And
That's right.
And remembering that, you know, in our situation, had my mother stopped when she wanted to stop because she wasn't seeing anything, we would have never seen the amazing things that happened over the next 14 months. And so just reminder that, you know, it's definitely a stacking thing, right? So a little bit of good, little bit of good, little bit of good. It doesn't happen overnight. We don't fall apart overnight. We don't come back together overnight. So we got to remember that.
I love that. Love that. That was me, you guys. That's not me anymore. And, you know, I aligned myself with something that started producing the positive results, moving me towards my goals. And that's the vision and mission of Isogenics. It's really the company with heart, the company that did it right. And we will become a legendary company. There's no question about it. And we're 3 generations into the nutrition with my family, and 2 generations into the freeing them up so that they can do what they want when they want. You know, helping people with their health created this for me and my family, to live a lifestyle of freedom, a lifestyle of choices, lifestyle where we get to do what we want when we want. And I do an awful lot of Isogenics because that's what I want to do. That's what lights me up. And if I want to do something else, I'll do it. You know, me and Carter and Carrie are going to Kenya for 2 weeks in July. So excited to go see the National Geographic. I've only ever seen that on National Geographic. I get to now go there into, you know, what's going to seem like stepping into a fantasy world. But it's going to be an experience that we get to have because we've aligned with the company that supports everything about our lives, physically and financially. So to get started, I love this about the company. You know, they treat everybody the same. They understand the importance of the customer. And it's $29 to get started. If you get started with the Forever Pack right now, it's a free membership for the rest of the week. Up until the 9th, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. You get started with the Forever Pack. It's a free membership. They waive the membership, you guys, and you have a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. But you get the products at the same price I get them for. Carrie and I have been paid, $10 million in the company. Yeah, I still have to pay this. I still get to pay the same price that you guys get to pay. It's a wholesale account. Everybody's equal. Customers and those who decide to share it proactively. When I decided that I could make a difference in people's lives with these products because they made such a profound difference in my life. And when I saw that it was making a profound difference in other people's lives, I was like, game on. And so I was already ordering a qualified order. It's called 100 BV. I didn't have to sell any products. If everybody gets the products at the same price, why would I sell products? I just introduce people and let them become a customer in Isagenix. And 85% of the people in Isagenix are customers. It's unprecedented in this industry. They're using the products because they produce the results they can't get anywhere else. I have people that are still ordering products from almost 14 years ago that I introduced to them as a customer, still ordering the products. So if you're ordering 100 BV every 30 days, that's a qualified order to start making an income from the company, like from home, not interrupting anything you're doing because you're sharing this in the as you're talking to people, which you do every day anyways. So 100 BV means business volume. The Forever Pack is 110 BV. And it's $164. That's the under $550 a day. And then as soon as you start sharing it with people who use 100 BV, just at least 2 people that become customers, they just need to use the product, use the Forever Pack. I can start earning 6% on all of the products being ordered in my entire organization. And there's over 300,000 of them now. That's how I've been paid over $10 million. Cindy, in 1 year, created 25 customers. But she had 950 people in her organization because you can't keep a good thing to itself. People notice. People want to share. We're just like that. When something good happens to us, we want to share it with people. So 25 people she enrolled in a year had turned into 950 people in that same year. For Cindy, and here's the disclaimer down there, she was making $1,000 a week in 1 year. As a home health nurse for 30 years, she was very busy during the week, but everybody's talking to people about their health. You can always find time to talk to people, and that's all this is. And then you just get them their membership. You don't even take any money from them. You just set up their account and the product shipped directly to them. So it didn't interrupt her important time of, being a nurse. But in less than 2 years, she retired from being a nurse. That's Cindy's personal results. So if you just took the penny doubled for 30 days, because look, as soon as you share it with 2 people, you get paid on everybody's orders. Everybody's. Doesn't matter if you enrolled them or not. Everybody's, once you're a consultant. So that would be like the penny sharing it with 2 other pennies, right? So there's your 2. You now get paid on all the other pennies that share it with all the other pennies. 1 penny doubled every day for 30 days. It's $5 million. This person right here is getting paid on all of these people's product orders because Isagenix pays you on unlimited depth on everybody. So if we took the compensation plan and here you are and you shared it with 2 people, this right here, they share it with 2 people, you get a $500 bonus. How much did I say that Forever Pack was? $164? You more than doubled your money back. Just this right here. 2 pennies sharing it with 2 people. That's it, right? Total of 6 people. And they're getting paid now. So if these 4 people share it with 2 people, those 2 people just made $500. See how cool that is? How generous the company is? That's just a bonus. That's not the 6%. Take the 6% and you're going to start getting paid for your products because people are going to order the products because they're going to run out of them. So when they order them again, you get paid the 6% again, like I am from the people from 14 years ago. Your house, your credit cards, your cell phones, your kids' cell phones that they rack up the bill on, right? And the house payment, maybe you need new tires on your car. Maybe you're behind on your house payment, or maybe you don't get as much food for the month because you had to make your house payment. What if you could make your house payment while you're still working your job because you've been sharing this on your part-time? In 13 levels of people, 2 people sharing it with 2 people, the 6% that they pay you, you'd be making over $50,000 a month. And everybody's just ordering that. When I got that, Lenny, you didn't make me, you asked me to do that on a calculator, figure out the 6% and the 100 BV. And I did. And when I saw that, I knew with these products that that day was coming, and it has. And so I call this bringing heaven to earth. That's the bigger movement. When you're moving people up the staircase, you're bringing more of heaven into their lives. It's not a product. It's not a compensation plan. It's a movement with a compensation plan, with products. So that's why, we feel like we're creating, a great amount of hope into people because of the message, and it's all science. And even the compensation plan is mathematically, backed. They haven't changed the comp plan in 17 years, and they've added $40 million in upfront bonuses. That relieves a lot of stress in people's lives, and it allows them to start living the life they want to live, and they're going to have the health to live it. So just get back with the person that got you here. Recommend the Forever Pack. These 2 canisters, that's enough shake for breakfast every morning, and you get to pick which flavor you want. And then the Isagenesis, that's a complete month supply right there. So get back with the person that got you here. They'll help you get started. And I'm just going to let you guys add any final comments that you want to make. For those of you that want to hang around, we're going to do a little training after this and talk about the website and how it's going to be updated and some of the modules that we have to help everybody get the information that they're looking for. So for those of you that want to hang around, you're invited to. And for those of you that came to hear about the products and that's all you wanted to hear and have time for, thank you. We're here every Monday night doing this presentation, and just get back with the person that got you here. So let's start from the top. Laura, Alex, Jojo, and then Lenny.
I just want you to think of who in your life, including yourself, is looking to release struggle and who's desiring change, because that's who's a magnet match. And if it's you right now, you absolutely know in your heart if this is a fit for you. And if it's not, it's not. I mean, if it is, it is. The science can't be denied. But if you're seeking change, you're desiring, and you're ready to draw that line in the sand and say, why not give this a try? Then absolutely go back to whomever brought you here or sent you this video. And by the time you watch this video, if it's a recording, prices shift. It might not be a free enrollment week. It is worth the $29 for a year of 25% off for wholesale access. So just absolutely say, I have nothing to lose. I either, get my money back or I get my health back to a whole other level. And just be open, just be absolutely open, and think about all the people in your life that you can do this with.
Yep.
Alex, anything else?
Yeah, I just want to say I have this plaque in my room, in my office. It says, don't ask yourself what the world needs. Ask yourself what makes you come alive, and go do that, because that's what the world needs, is people that have come alive. And I really believe that Isagenix wakes people up. And that's my movement inside of the movement. It's a way to just get started. And I'm just super excited and blessed that you were here and that you've watched this. And yes, get back with the person who invited you here and come alive.
That's right. Thank you. Jojo.
Beautiful baby steps have taken us to an entire life change. So it's not just for us, everyone that's on here, it's possible for everybody. And so even if you're feeling the inkling, all you have to do is open your mouth and stick it in and see what it does for you.
Take the first step, right? Lenny.
I just want to say, I love how you said it's a movement with the compensation plan. And the Forever Pack is the movement inside the movement. I feel like it's a golden ticket, no matter what. Like, this is your golden ticket. And think about this, everybody. What if you had scientific knowledge that could absolutely help anyone, with improve one or two of the top things on their list to improve? Oh my gosh, Dave MacArthur, bringing heaven to earth. Let's go.
Let's go. All right, you guys, thank you. For those of you that want to hang around, I'm just going to stop the recording, and we're going to